Hi, all my VLers. It's Breisha here, and yet again, I've made it through another week of all the joys and wonders of my quarter first workout program and a bunch of stuff to catch up with you guys on. I know we've kind of missed a week or two, but it's been a crazy busy last couple weeks for Ashton and I. Life kind of sometimes does get in the way, and as you know, we're always going with family stuff and fun stuff like that. But we're back again to give you the latest episode of the Being Well and Being Free and the Disney Mom Site mashup, as we like to call it. So we have lots to talk about, a lot to catch you up on, and we really can't wait to go ahead and do so. So I'm going to kick it over to Ashton real fast so she can start you off with the Disney Roundup.
Hey everyone, I'm Ashton, the founder of the Disney Mom Site, and today I have so much news to share with you. As we all know, Disney has been just coming out every week with new stuff. It seems like to me it's every day. Every day there's something new that Disney is releasing. There's so much happening between the different parks. But we'll start with the cable car system between Epcot and Hollywood Studios. I think that is an actually, I think that's practical because it's going to prevent the traffic. There's going to be more parking and so on and so forth. And I think it's going to make park hopping a lot easier for
sure.
people. And with the Star Wars, is it World or Land that's coming, I think that's going to be amazing. So amazing to have that transportation between both. Then we have a new tour expansion at Animal Kingdom. It's called Caring for Giants. It's an elephant tour that is 60 minutes. It's for ages 4 and up and will cost $30 per person. That is located in Africa by the Safari. Then the Caribbean Beach and Coronado Springs resorts will be closing some of their restaurants, some of their boardwalks, I guess you can call them, because they're going to be expanding the resort. Disney is constantly growing, so that's great. Then for DVC members, we have Painting with a View, which is located at the Top of the World Cafe restaurant on Bay Lake Tower. That begins March 1st to March 21st, and I believe it's $50 per person plus tax. And then Once Upon a Time fans, that will be back March 5th at 8 Eastern Standard Time. And live action films. Mulan. Mulan is coming. What do you think about that?
Is that what is slated to come out this summer or next summer?
Next summer.
Next summer? Okay, So that's what on the roundup for all the movies is slated to come out. So I have a few opinions on a live action Mulan. I think if it's done right, it can be done really well. I think there's a lot of, just like how we're seeing with the Star Wars mashup and crossover, you have different British stars coming over and playing in the Star Wars movies. I think you're going to get the same thing kind of with the culture from, the Asian culture of people coming over and seeing new stars and new celebrities from their genre. Now, maybe though, what we'll get, which will be really cool, is a long time ago, I don't remember what site it was, had done a kind of list of people they thought would be good to play Mulan in a live action movie. And one of the frontrunners for that was Teen Wolf alum Arden Cho. In Teen Wolf, she kind of plays a mythical, it's really hard to explain it, kind of like electric wielding samurai kind of mashup of a character. Very strong, very independent, even though she does fall in love. I could definitely see her playing Mulan. Also, I think if it was maybe 10 years prior, if they decided to do this, and I think they've missed the mark on a lot of these movies with a lot of good actresses. I just drew a blank on her name, but she's in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. She plays May. I can't think of her name in real life, so I'm sorry for that. She would have been a good front runner for that. She'd actually be probably awesome to play Mulan's mom.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see with that. We'll see with where that goes. I think it's going to be really exciting to see and really cool to see who they pick and to see how they build that cast. Hopefully it's a good buildup of cast. It should be
definitely.
We'll see, though, in less than a month with casting decisions how those have turned out, because we're getting closer and closer to Beauty and the Beast.
Yep.
So that's going to be really interesting to see how they've decided, with Beauty and the Beast, with that success, to continue rolling out all the different movies and stuff like that. Speaking of that, if you have a Cinemark in a town near you, you need to go today. Do not wait till Beauty and the Beast comes out for the combo pack. I went to go see the Valentine's Day movie, and they had this really awesome combo pack, and then you get the collector's Beauty and the Beast cup. This one, it's really nice. It is plastic, so you can save it. It's not a paper one. I wouldn't have gotten the deal if it was paper. Just give me a second. And you also got the really nifty Beauty and the Beast popcorn. You get it for $7.50 total, not $7.50 a piece.
That's so cheap.
$7.50 total, which is a really good deal.
Yeah.
The reason why I'm telling all of you guys to go now and get it, when Rogue One came out, they had a similar promo, and by the time the promo came along, they were out by the time Rogue One came along. Probably when a lot of people that are Star Wars collectors were kind of jamming up and buying them. It was also kind of the Christmassy time is when the Star Wars movies come out. So a lot of times you're getting that for people who are buying them for Christmas gifts to give to collectors.
Yep.
So you get that interesting little mashup. Also, too, at your local Dollar Tree, if you have little girls, if you have avid Beauty and the Beast collectors, this was an awesome find I got. They also have Frozen ones as well, but you're seeing a lot of resurgence of Beauty and the Beast merchandise come out, not only at Disney, so definitely take a look for them. That, and then you can also do like the little rose pen thing for a little kind of build up like that. If you're trying to build like a little pack to go to the movies, that's just like my simple little life hack of what you should do to kind of, save money here or there and do cutesy little things. Another really important thing that actually just got released today, and I will have a review for us next podcast. The next and latest Star Wars book came out today. It's Star Wars Aftermath, Empire's End. This will be the kind of book that wraps up everything we've seen that happened in The Force Awakens and what's going to happen in The Last Jedi. So it's really kind of important if you are an avid Star Wars fan, if you're really serious about it, to go ahead and read the book. I'll have a review for it next week. I do know that there are two key spoilers or sneak peeks that have already been put out. You're going to finally find out about the Battle of Jakku and what really happened, which is a really key thing. So you'll get kind of more history about Rey and where she came from. And I don't know if this was to appease the fans, piss fans off more. I'm not really sure. You actually finally find out what happens to Jar Jar Binks in this book. I was kind of really surprised by that. We'll see how it ties in. I didn't know they're gonna go back to Naboo, but you do find out that poor Jar Jar, he's actually a clown in the streets of Naboo. Adults don't even talk to him. He's only talked to by children, and he's kind of messed with and joked around. That's fine with me. He's a cool character. I didn't know if he was necessarily needed, so you'll get to see that. I also believe, too, in the book, Han and Leia are going to be a lot less in this book than they were, and you're going to see kind of the birth of Ben / Kylo Ren, whatever he goes by in your book. He will be born in this book. So I'll have more details, more fan theories to throw around. Star Wars Rebels did come back on as well. That season is going to wrap up very quickly. They're doing a lot with it, and you won't get the first kind of preview trailer for The Last Jedi until Star Wars Celebration happens. So a lot of times. And last but not least, BB-8 will be rolling around Hollywood studios. So that's going to be a big thing for kids. Kids seem to gravitate towards him and love him. Adults like him. He's cool in my book. Not my fave. He's a cute little thing. I'll definitely be at the park and I'll do some YouTubing and stuff like that just so everyone share it with all of you guys so you can see. He supposedly is going to look exactly like he looks in the movie. So that's a really exciting thing.
Definitely.
That's going on there.
Definitely. And then there's been rumors circulating that Ms. Lindsay Lohan is demanding the part of Ariel in the Little Mermaid live action. What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, if Disney wants to work their Disney magic, she is a Disney kid, essentially. Mm-hmm. A lot of her issues, you could say, come from the fact of she grew up so quick and rose to fame that way. If she can get it together and she can kind of get her life together, get her act together, be on the right track. I know she's been working on being on the right track. I would vouch to see her as the Little Mermaid. I think it would be good. I don't know if all the soccer moms out there are going to appreciate her being Lindsay Lohan. But hey, FYI to all you soccer moms, 10 years ago, before you had kids and before you were soccer moms, you probably were a Lindsay Lohan fan. So, if she wants to speak it into the universe and put her plot out there for her to be the Little Mermaid, let the girl go ahead and do it. I don't have an issue with it. Can she still sing? I don't know. That's going to be a key thing there. If in Beauty and the Beast we see that Emma Watson does a really good job at singing, and so far, you know, I'm kind of impressed with what I've seen from the singing.
Oh, yeah.
The fact that she's not wearing a corset, she's not wearing all the extra added crap that goes along with being, you know, a princess, and she's sticking to that very plain Jane of being Belle. If they do the singing justice the way that Disney animated movies are, I'd be excited to see it. But you need to make sure that you have people in these roles who can at least movie sing.
Yes.
Per se. So I say she should go for it. I mean,
I just think that she really, really has to get it together, because if she wants to be that role model again, she can't have a repeat of what happened. I mean, no judgment. We all have breakdowns. Completely understand. But if you want to reinvent yourself through Disney, she just has to make sure she has it together. Which
I think this would be a perfect reinvention for her. It would really set her up on a good path. Like I said, it'd be really interesting to see, as the live-action Disney movies progress, who they choose to put into what roles. We've seen in the last few years what they've butchered with in other studios, how they've turned, you know, books into movies, and how just some of them, the casting is absolutely horrible. I saw the second 50 Shades for Valentine's Day.
I heard it was horrible.
The casting, I think, off Bay was not just, it wasn't good again.
Yeah.
So it really needs to make sure they stick in that lane. You know, a great example of that is what Disney has done with Marvel and what it's done with all the superheroes. You've gotten a really good casting of most of them, not of all, but for the majority, the main players are really good. How they really have, you know, embraced, you know, Robert Downey Jr. as being Tony Stark, things like that. Key things like that to make you want to see those characters. The same thing with Hugh Jackman and Logan. It makes you want to go see those movies because you really believe that those actors are those characters. So
definitely,
you know, if Disney can make smart casting choices in their other genres and their other branches, hopefully with their actual own titles, they'll be able to do that justice. I'm hoping. It's exciting. It's exciting time to be a Disney junkie, to be a Disney lover again, because they're trying to breathe life back into the studio and back into things. What I want to really see next, I would like the second Maleficent to come out.
I fell in love with that movie because you get to see it from her point of view. And yes, she's a villain, but she's a villain who has a heart.
I think that movie teaches a lot of important life lessons.
Definitely.
For sure. I think that it teaches you key things that you need to know. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see where Disney goes with all of this, and I think it's headed in the right direction. So
Definitely.
I think that's it on the Disney roundup end.
Yes, it is.
Oh, except for one side note. I do believe Disney is trying to buy Disney Paris.
I was going to mention that, yes, because the corporation who currently has it, or who has shares in it, has completely let it go. I'm on a Disney page, and there was a family who went to Disneyland Paris, and basically that same day were on a flight back to New York because Disney messed up their reservations. Well, not Disney, that specific location, their reservations were messed up. They bought a pack, like a package, and they no longer were willing to honor that because that was not a current package anymore. And so it was a huge issue, and I guess Disney's willing to pay double the stock rate right now to get their resort and their park back.
I do think it's in Disney's best interest at this point, especially with everything that's going on with all the parks that are international, to really make sure that there's a cohesiveness throughout the brand. And brand cohesiveness is one of the most vital things in any business that you're in. If you are not cohesive within all areas of your brand is going to fail.
Definitely.
So it doesn't matter how large of a brand you are or how small of a brand you are. If you don't have everything set and straight across the way, it's just not going to be good for you. So
because Disney lost, I think it was $60 or $80 million last year from Disneyland Paris alone.
Yeah,
it's not good,
and it's not including all the other debacles they have had. So I think it's really key, what you can all take away from this, all of our listeners, is for sure, make sure that you get that brand cohesiveness down pat. So that's going to lead us into my favorite segment of how to beat the Friday trap. So, key thing here, just to catch you up on my end and my business end, I was invited to be in a fit and free kind of lifestyle mastermind class. So every month I get a lesson and additional homework from kind of one of these superstars in the Beachbody world, which is totally awesome, and I totally appreciate it. I love it. I kind of joined the group a little bit late, so I have a lot of catching up to do in it, which is fine. I don't mind. But it's going to be a lot of kind of soul searching, soul digging, and overall just, really searching for different things that I want out of life and kind of going for it. So one of the assignments I had to do for this group was I had to write out 50 things I wanted in the next 10 years. So you think that would be really easy to do?
It's hard.
Not. When you sit there and you're like, okay, I have to pick 50 things I want in the next 10 years. And it could be anything. So it could literally be like, oh, I want to go to every Disney park, or I want to do different things like that. So I literally, and this is what I do, I wrote a list. I wrote 5 lists, and he broke them down into 5 lists of 10 about different things that I wanted and that I wanted to do. So I'm going to share some of them with you guys so you can know what some of them were as they pertain to the podcast. So one of my things was that I want to get to 20,000 viewers for the podcast. I want to help Ashton develop the Disney Mom site more. That was my next key. Those both were 3-year goals. I'm giving myself some time with those, just to really big. And I wanted to make it a goal that I meet with Ashton for 2 Disney trips a year and record live from Disney for the podcast. Those are just 3 of kind of the goals off rep I had for the next 3 years. Oh, and I wanted to kind of either open or build my own studio that I could podcast from. So those were kind of my 4 things I wanted in the next 10 years that had to go with podcasting and this podcast and the overall mashup. So it's a lot of, you're thinking to yourself, well, how do you get there and how do you do it? Well, it's just by simple goal setting. We talked about in our first episode how to ultimately turn your hobby passion into a business and career. And the way you get to do that is by sitting down and really effectively goal setting. And for me, there's kind of 5 key ways to goal set and make sure you're hitting those goals. The number one thing is always make sure that you have a goal that motivates you and that's adding value to your life somehow. And I know we've spoken about this before. Value does not have to be financially what it gives back to you. Exactly. It can be, if you're a helper, what it's giving back to you kind of in here, or what it's doing for yourself. Secondly, you want to set SMART goals. So the SMART goals is kind of that little acronym that's specific, measurable, agreed upon, realistic, and time-based. So that's really a simple breakdown. You just want to make sure that the goals are not extreme, especially if you're giving yourself a 1-year goal or a 3-year goal. You want to make sure you have the time to plan. The next key thing with that is you want to set your goals down in writing. So whether you're like me, who writes them down in a notepad that you have just lying around, or you type them up in the computer, a lot of times writing things out is really good. Fourth and foremost, you want to write out an action plan. So write how you're going to get that goal. Figure out how you're going to do it and keep doing it. And last but not least, if you have a goal, stick with your goal. Don't quit 2 to 6 months in or a year in because you're not seeing right away what you want. Keep doing it. Keep pushing at it. You're always going to have that moment. 80% of the time, life is going to not be what you want it to be. But that 20% window that you kind of captivated and catch is going to make everything worth it. So just have a little perspective. So that's kind of my how to beat the Friday trap mashup, is to set those goals and stick with those goals. For sure.
Definitely. Completely agree with you. Completely agree. Like Breisha was saying earlier today, we haven't filmed because it's just been hectic for us, but you have to stay consistent. No matter how hectic it gets, you still have to set time aside and pursue your goals. You can't just leave them. Even if it takes you 10 years to achieve that goal that you set for 3 years, as long as you achieve that goal, that's all that matters.
Exactly. It's really important that, goal setting, a lot of people think, hey, I gave myself, 6 months, but I didn't do it. Okay, you didn't do it, but that doesn't mean you quit. Quitting isn't going to get you anywhere. You're not going to get further in life because you just kind of dropped the ball and decided not to do it. And I think a lot of people think that if they don't see instant results and instant gratification, that it's just not worth doing it. If you're an entrepreneur and you're truly trying to beat that Friday trap, you are not going to see instant gratification. You're just not. It's not going to happen. Then it's not right for you. Then maybe you're not supposed to be on this path because you're for sure not going to get those results overnight. No one does. And nothing worth having comes overnight. But what this leads me into next to speaking about and talking about that's so important is, life does happen, and life happens very fast, and you don't realize how fast life is going to throw challenges at you. So for my health and fitness roundup this week, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about some personal stuff of mine and let you guys in on some things you might not know about me. That way you can kind of get a better perspective of why I chose to be an independent Beachbody coach. And I'm really going to dive in deep. So on Valentine's Day, I'm not a big fan of Valentine's Day. I think it's a commercial holiday. I know being a commercial manager, I should appreciate it because it gives me the big bucks. But I really don't. I think there's 364 other days of the year to show that you love someone, and definitely take the opportunity to show that you love someone and to show that you care, because you never know what can happen. So this year, I celebrated 5 years of being heart attack free and not having another heart attack. So I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to pre-warn you. If I tear up a little bit, I do apologize. So if you don't like to see people cry, you might want to not be tuned in at this point. So about 5 years ago in my life, I lived a very different life, not in a bad way. I still lived up north in Rhode Island, and I had a not intense, but it was kind of depressing of sorts job at CVS Corporate. I'm actually a pharmacy technician by trade, so I'm really knowledgeable about pharmaceuticals and stuff like that. I just don't believe in them. I believe in using a more natural approach. I think the pharmaceutical industry is really crooked, but hey, at that time, CVS paid the bills, and that's the job I had when I came out of school from getting my my associates in pharmacology studies. So pretty much, I was working. I worked Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. on the phone. What I did was I called people to tell them about their transplant medications and their super expensive medications. So essentially, what was supposed to be a friendly reminder call was really a sales call to make sure that they got their money every month, because we're talking about medications that were people's mortgage payments. A lot of them had to decide if they wanted to pay their mortgage and eat, or if they wanted to live by the shot that they were injecting or the pill that they were taking. And that's why I'm so harped on about prevention and making sure you do as much prevention you can and take care of your body. So that's what I was doing for a living back then. I also was still overseeing a nonprofit organization, and life was just hustle and bustle and constantly going. I was in a relationship too. It had been about 2 or 3 years already at that point. So a lot of stuff going on in my life. I always put everyone else around me first. That's how I am. And I kind of never stopped to smell the roses. So I woke up on Valentine's morning 5 years ago, and I felt really funny, and I had told my mom, like, hey, I feel kind of nauseous, I feel kind of dizzy, but I didn't think anything of it because I do suffer from low blood sugar, so I kind of just figured that's my normal morning blues. So I went to work as always, and then just my day started feeling really, really funny, but I sat down at my desk. I do what any other person who is kind of, addicted to the 9 to 5 and cares about their job. I just kept going. I kept typing. I kept doing what I needed to do. So I tried to eat. I wasn't hungry, and I just felt really weird. I felt like something was wrong. So I remember around 4 o'clock, I started to feel a really bad, deep pain in my chest, but it's nothing I've never felt before, and I didn't understand. And like I said, I was really dizzy, really lightheaded. So I went to my supervisor at the time, and I said, listen, I need to go home. I don't feel good. I have really bad chest pain. I can't be here anymore, which again is not like me. I never leave work early. I always go to work essentially if I'm dying. So at that time I didn't drive yet, so I called my mom. I had her pick me up, and I said, listen, something's not right. I need to go to the hospital. And I'm kind of, again, I'm anti, doctor, hospital, unless I really need to. So I proceeded to go to the emergency room on Valentine's night. What a fun place to be. And long story short, basically, I had a mild heart attack. I had to be hooked up to, oxygen and stuff like that. And it was really because I was really stressed. Everything was super kind of elevated. 2 weeks prior to that, I had figured out what I had done. You can actually suffer from a broken heart. You can actually stress yourself out so much that the muscles in your heart actually do get pulled and torn, and everything does get a strain. And that kind of lingered on for the 2 weeks, and that's what essentially caused the mild heart attack, was all of the stress and build up, and just kind of everything going up and down, my pulse, my cholesterol, everything kind of just skyrocketing and being up, my blood pressure, and being up out of control. And I was really lucky. I had a really hot male nurse who kind of made the night some comedic relief. And he said, listen, he's like, I just got to give you some advice. You need to stress less. Maybe you need to change something. Maybe you need a vacation. Now, of course, what did not help is I don't like taking medication. I don't like taking pain meds. They told me, they were like, you need to be out of work for 2 weeks. Don't really understand that. That's not Breisha language we're talking here. And I kind of just, it was a surreal experience. So on Valentine's Day, I celebrate life. I don't celebrate love. I celebrate life. I celebrate with the people I love. But it's a reminder to me to take time to love yourself, love those around you, and take care of yourself. Make sure you're doing everything you can to kind of know. So I have my key ways to prevent a heart attack and heart disease. And there's 5 kind of key ones. The number one thing is be social. keep connected with family and friends because support is key. You need that support element, especially if you know you have a pre-existing heart condition. You definitely want to make sure you have people around and people you can talk to when you don't feel good and when you don't feel well. And you always want probably someone with you when you do go to the doctor, just so you can have a simple understanding. The second thing is so essential, eating right. Being good to your body and having a balanced diet. I'm not saying go out and throw everything away today, but make sure you're fueling your body with what it needs to be fueled with. 3, keep on grooving, keep on moving, exercise regularly. Don't, especially if you need to lose weight, don't wait to lose it. The more you kind of put that pressure on your body and put that strain on your body, the harder it's going to be. So make sure you figure it out. One of the key things that I always stress about is walking 20 to 30 minutes a day. Even if you can't afford a Beachbody program from me or you can't afford a gym membership, go walking. Walk with your family. Walk with your friends. Mm-hmm. Trust me, it'll help. It's really good. If you have kids, don't let your kids be the excuse as to why you can't walk either. Kids do enjoy walking. They love being outside.
Put them on their bike.
They love an excuse to play with leaves and dirt and all that crazy crap. So definitely do it. My next and fourth thing is be stress-free. I know that not everyone can be stress-free. I know that's kind of a joke. But you can take small little things to kind of alleviate the stress, whether it's through coloring, meditation, yoga. If you can take a day trip, if you're a Floridian and you have an annual pass to a park, go to a park, walk around a park by yourself, breathe, do something like that. And the fifth thing is kind of just make sure you're checking in with your doctor, your blood pressure, your blood sugar, your cholesterol, all that. Check in on that. Don't push that to the weak side. Don't just be like, oh, I eat healthy, so everything's okay. Check in with those numbers. Make sure you get those numbers checked because it's a really big thing and really key thing to throw anything off. Also, too, be aware of the signs of a heart attack. I think a lot of people, especially women, do not realize what the signs and symptoms of a heart attack truly are. It's different in everyone. You're not always going to have that gut-wrenching, like, grab my chest pain, oh my God, I have the pain in my shoulder, heart attack symptoms. Sometimes the kind of, the upper back pain, the nausea, vomiting, and kind of more of that, and just kind of, blacking out, those are the signs. So if you don't normally feel those, and you kind of just out of the blue come with that, never think that any little thing that happens to your body is stupid to go and get it checked out. Definitely. If you know it's not something your body normally does, go ahead and get it checked out. You need to. It's really better in most instances to be safe than sorry. You don't want to ever take that chance. So that's kind of my little health and wellness soapbox for the week. It's just, take care of your heart, take care of yourself. And that way, if you don't want to do it for yourself, do it for the people you love. Just think of it from that perspective. If you don't give a damn about your own self to do it, think about if you have kids, think about your kids and what they need. If you have a spouse, your spouse. If you have parents, they're going to need someone to take care of. Think about it from that perspective. There are other people in your life that probably do need you, so you need to be around for them, so you need to take care of them.
Definitely. And just to add on to that, I get checked by my doctor at least once a year. I mean, he sees me more like 3 times a month because I have kids, but at least get a physical once a year so you have a record of the changes that are happening in your body, because we do have changes. It's natural as you get older, your body changes. Sure. If you feel like something's not right, like Breisha said, get seen. You'd rather be safe than sorry and not know. You know what I mean? Get blood work done. If you feel, be very adamant with your doctor, because being in the Army, being a spouse, our insurance doesn't like doing that, and our doctors don't like doing that to keep costs down. But I'm very adamant. Nobody knows you better than you. And if I feel that something's not right, I will demand until it happens that I get tests done, that I see a specialist. I don't care if it's costing, my insurance company more money. If there's something wrong, there's something wrong. You need to pursue that. So.
Yeah, that's definitely a good point to bring up. I think a lot of people, too, another thing is when you do pursue finding out what's wrong, you need to go ahead and you need to make sure that you are taking care of it. Definitely. I know for me, for years, I struggled with the fact to figure out hormonally what was wrong with me, what was the cause, and I kind of knew what it was. I knew that it was the polycystic ovarian syndrome. I knew it was the PCOS, and my next key thing is, I understand insurance is really tricky. It's a really tricky thing. But if your doctor is not giving you the care that you need, switch doctors, change doctors. Ultimately, you're the one paying for it.
Definitely.
Take a second opinion. I know for me, with my PCOS, it's a constant battle of, okay, are you going to add this hormone, take out this hormone? What are you going to do? This diet, that diet. It's kind of, you get the runaround on it. A lot of doctors don't understand it. They don't get it. They just see it as you're overweight and you need to lose weight, and losing weight is going to solve all your problems. That's not always true. Nope. Losing weight's not always going to solve all your problems. It will help alleviate some of the issues that you have. So don't think I would ever stray anyone away from living a healthier lifestyle. But for some people, they have the issues no matter what. So I think that's another key thing is, it's a service you pay for, essentially. Don't be afraid to change that service.
Hands down agree.
You can't, especially too, it's the same thing with your children and their pediatrician. If you're not getting the answers you need, switch for sure. It's a key thing. You can always get a second or third opinion. I know it's a process. I know it's an opinion for everyone. No matter what insurance you have, it's never easy, but it's so worth doing it because your health is so important. It's really a key thing. That I think a lot of people just they're afraid. They are super afraid to kind of take that stand and take that chance with it.
Exactly. But if you can't do it for yourself, like Breisha said, do it for your loved ones. Do it for your family. Breisha's been following me with my sleep journey. I don't sleep. And there was a point where I was taking 7 different pills a night just to knock me out, and it wasn't working. And finally my doctor, after 4 years, said, okay, let's give you a sleep study. And I have a severe case of sleep apnea. Answers. You gotta pursue it. You gotta fight. Because some doctors, actually, it's sad to say, but they don't care. They don't.
My great-grandmother used to say to my mom that, hey, Chris, not every doctor graduates at the top of their class.
My husband always says that.
There's always going to be the doctors that, were at the bottom of their class. So, it's nothing, obviously, it's nothing, but not all doctors have a good bedside manner either.
And you are entitled to that second, third, fourth opinion. You're entitled to that. I physically can't be pregnant. I've been pregnant twice, and both times I have passing out experiences. I get very sick. It's scary. I had a doctor tell me that I was faking it and sent me home. That the next day I almost died because I needed my gallbladder removed. And it took one doctor to say, well, she's pregnant. We can't do an x-ray. Let's do a sonogram. It took that one doctor to save me and my baby because he thought outside of the box. So, moral to the story, you're entitled to those different views, opinions. Do what you got to do for you.
I totally agree. So I think that's kind of all we have for this episode. Do you have anything else for this episode?
Nope.
Well then, guys, you know what it's time for, guys. All of my B-Wellers out there and Disney mom lovers and all that fun stuff. I'm wishing you guys a great week. And as always, guys, I'm hoping that you are going to be well and be free and enjoy the rest of your week. And we'll be back soon. Thanks, guys.
Bye, guys.